I'm Wade Reed,
I'm Aaron Pascucci.
and we are joined by our producer, Chris Lindstrom.
Hey.
And tonight we're drinking some coffee, if you can imagine that. Some coffee that Aaron brought us, and we're just going to talk a little bit about the origin of this coffee and just some stats and facts and fun things, and maybe why Aaron is interested in this coffee in particular and in this origin. But how's the week, gentlemen?
Oh, it's been a week already. I mean, got a lot going on, day job and otherwise. We were out at Behind the Glass third anniversary last Friday,
Right.
which was awesome. I'll have to have you take a look at the little chat book before you leave.
Oh, yes.
Turned out just awesome. It was a tremendous night.
Yeah.
I needed a night of positivity, and we recorded for, I don't know, hour 15, hour 20 that night. Just had an absolute blast, and it was this was at the new farmhouse table space
Yeah. Yep.
in the glass glass walkway above the city. So we had the city in the background, and it was just awesome to be in the heart of the city and seeing the city while we were looking at all that stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Really cool. Excited for the next steps at Golden Supply. And Lunch Door, we've got a new show, two new shows starting very soon. So Rob Bell, who's part of Behind the Glass, is coming on with Plants and Beats,
Oh, yeah.
doing lo-fi music and plant talk.
I was listening. It was putting me to sleep, though.
Oh, I mean,
It's lo-fi.
yeah, the first time Matt listened to it, he's like, I fell asleep, dude. It was great.
That's great.
And then we have a library show, book show starting in February or March.
Okay, sweet.
So
Yeah.
excited about that, doing Rochester's Book Club and more.
Rochester's Book Club. I love it.
Ooh.
Matt, Behind the Glass, were there like a ton of alumni? Like, did everyone?
Oh, it was
everyone
so
show up?
busy. That
Yeah.
hallway got jam-packed.
Wow.
We had a great selection of, people from all the years. It was a very heartening night.
Was the chapbook like the main thing, or did they show like people's work from the past 3 years, or just from the past year?
Past year shown.
Okay, sweet. Yeah.
And then the chapbook has one page for every artist from the last 3
seen different
years.
people posting out of it, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get my hands on one of
And
those.
it just looks great. They did an amazing job, and shout out to the whole team there. One of my favorite things to go do live out, and we'll probably be doing more live out with them during the time at Golden Supply starting in February.
Yeah, love it.
What
Love
is
it.
Golden Supply doing? What are
They
they coming
do-
up with?
So they do kind of like heritage style apparel.
Right.
So they're hosting Behind the Glass from now on,
Oh.
starting in February.
Yeah.
And Behind the Glass is also programming Farmhouse Table.
No,
So they're programming that separate, and then the openings are going to be at Golden Supply Co. from now on.
Gotcha. No, I found Golden Supply early on because they were dealing with salvage denim.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And
It makes sense that you'd be into that since you're
I
into
know.
watches.
Yep.
It's that is a Venn diagram that's complete overlap.
That's denim and watches.
Oh, dude, you
right.
can fit
All
like
right.
people who are into coffee. You can like almost like pinpoint out random other things that they're into.
Oh, 100%.
The only thing I'll say is this: I originally got into it because a friend of mine started a business out in California, and so I bought one of his Kickstarter pairs. I still have that pair like 10, 15 years later. It's
Okay.
insane.
So I really want to start talking about this coffee because my first sip got me like shook in a weird way.
Nice.
Shook in a weird
All right.
way.
Aaron, tell us about the coffee.
So I, after drinking my coffee, a lot and realized that I have a thing for Mexican coffees. It's just one of those ones I see it and I know I'm going to like it, whatever it is. I think it's those darker, like brown butter and caramely flavors just sit really well with me. So I happened to see this one come up on Fellow Drops. Chris, thank you for exposing me to my new drug dealer.
Yeah, it's a problem. I mean, if you're you get just random coffees that show up in your text messages, and it's like, how many bags do you want at blah 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 price? I'm like, I guess one.
And you only have to press like a text button. It's like reply with A if you'd like this. It's way too easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing until they decide to
Oh,
sponsor our podcast.
then we're
then
huge
we're
fan,
all
huge
about
fan.
it, all
No, I
about
do like the program. A lot of the things are only for that program, which
I was gonna say
like
that's
that's an up and down about this aspect of it, is that coffee is basically exclusively for Fellow,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
and that's it.
I know I tried to look up the Onyx, and you can't even look it up on Onyx's website.
No.
There's just whatever Fellow tells you about it.
Yeah, so that's my understanding, is anything on there is exclusive to Fellow. So a company like Onyx can do that and not be a big deal.
I mean, it could be Fellow's take on Aporia coffee.
Exactly.
Hopefully,
Yeah, I doubt
sometime soon.
it.
Oh wait, come
It's a
on.
lot of effort.
Yeah.
that might be more the thing.
So you got the Onyx one, which we'll be
yeah.
jumping into in a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, the way this unfolded was this Onyx one popped up, and automatically I was like, "Oh, I know that being one of the big heavy hitters. I have had rarely anything from them." And then it was a Mexican, and then it was this is the one from Oaxaca, which happens to be a preferred region as opposed to Chiapas or Veracruz, which I never see. So I was like, "Yes,
Veracruz, you never see?
I haven't."
Oh, that's interesting.
Maybe that can be our next.
I've brought a couple in.
I've probably
Nice.
drank one by you.
Exactly. Exactly. You didn't read the jar?
what's on the jar,
You
Wade?
didn't read the jar?
It's a very fine QR
Yeah,
code.
exactly.
It's etched into the bean.
Listen, if you spill the beans just right, they spell out the name of the coffee. That's how it works.
Oh. So anyway, I was like, yes, checks all my boxes. Let me get this randomly super expensive coffee. And then I needed to go pick up some coffee, and I went to Ugly Duck, and they've had this broadsheet. And I saw a Chiapas, and I said, well, you know what? Maybe we should drink 2 Mexican coffees together and
Here we are.
banter like silly old coffee people.
So
And so that's what happened.
So Broadsheet, for those that aren't aware, so one is definitely a quality shop. It's in Cambridge, Mass. I went there recently, just in the start of the year. I've been before to the roastery slash shop. And I've had stuff from there multiple times, both there and purchased through, I think, Fellow or somewhere else. So I've had it multiple times. Just a really high quality roastery in the Boston area, where there is a bunch of good stuff, but there's just a whole bunch of not good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
it's-
do sort of have to sort through the pile.
Yeah, it's a little harder to get to anything. But I do have to say, consistently good. Also love the bag design. It's very, very eye popping. It's got those, stunning,
Looks like navel
citrus
oranges.
fruits.
Yeah.
It just looks great. I love the design of what they've done, because I remember the old design. This is way more eye catching than what they used to do, which I was more generic.
Yeah.
So are you getting pecan pie and dates and nougat?
Well, now that you mentioned that, sure. My first thought was like bruleed marshmallow.
Yeah, I mean it's brown sugary. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's I mean it's kind of a what you expect coffee, I think.
Wade, what is your opinion on coffee? Because we have an opinion, right? And you
On-
shouldn't be afraid to say it.
On what?
I don't know. Where do you sit on Mexico in general? I know
Oh,
you bring in a
yeah,
lot of
no,
Guatemala.
I like
for
Mexican
things.
coffees quite a bit. I like the cleaner Chiapas types like this more so than like those dark chocolatey Oaxacans. The cocoa-y kind of rougher bodied stuff is interesting, and like, yeah, I think it gets a lot of people's attention. It's kind of the first time people go, "Oh, I like Mexican coffee," is something more like that. Or, I mean, some of the more experimental stuff that they're doing now. So I've had yeast fermented coffees from Mexico that are really a little more interesting too. Um, but yeah, I would say in the past, like a good clean Chiapas like this, with just a little more subtlety to the character
Mhm.
was one of my favorite coffees I've ever roasted, and that was actually with Joe Bean
Yeah.
a long time ago, but I can remember it really, really well.
I
So,
mean, I can tell you that was probably one of the coffees that put Mexico on the map for me.
yeah, I wish I could remember the name of that one. I don't remember the name exactly, but I do remember it was like a lot like this in its brown sugar kind of characteristics, but it also just had a lot of varied nuttiness, and a real tight, like, lemon acidity that just sort of washed over everything and was really
Mm.
clean. And so, yeah, I was reading the World Coffee Atlas on Mexico, and one of the funniest things I came across was that at the like bottom corner of each page or of each like country, it's like
Yeah.
there's like flavor notes for that country, you know.
Hmm.
And with Mexico, it was basically like it's kind of everything. Like it's just this is a little bit of everything, like and it did kind of nod to like known for more of its like earthy dark chocolates and things like that, but like it was very much like, Mexico kinda does it all, and that's, I think, one of the cool things about the origin is you can find a little bit of everything.
In my reading, it seemed like a lot of the coffees, like the farms, are not big enough to put out a whole lot themselves, and that they all get sold in these co-ops, like multiple farms together.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, like, this coffee is from a 1,700 member co-op,
right.
so, like, that's not small. I mean, although on Broadsheet's website, it says it's a selection, like, a lot from the co-op, so maybe they are, like, narrowing that 1,700, but yeah, it does sound like that's the easiest way to export out of Mexico. I don't know a lot of the ins and outs about that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting. You would think it consistently falls between like the 8th and 10th highest volume producer in the world.
Right.
So like you would think they'd have a lot more infrastructure for export and that kind of thing. But there's a kind of interesting history behind it where it was in like the 1920s. A lot of the land got sold back to indigenous farmers. And so, if I had to guess, it's people in the higher levels of government trying to keep indigenous farmers kind of away from the exporting process that created this situation where there are these larger co-ops. And that's just kind of like looking at the facts we have. That's what I would assume. I mean, like travel in Mexico can be really dangerous, right?
for
Like, I mean,
sure.
there's a lot of cartel activity down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
It's a lot like what you see in Africa now, where like the travel between DRC or Uganda, Ethiopia, all these countries is so fraught now that like the yields are coming in lower and lower because people just can't get
You can't
product.
move the
Yeah.
product around.
So if you have a larger body that can offer maybe even some kind of security or even just the security of being around more people, having a larger operation, or maybe that puts like a larger target on you. I don't see it's things like this that, you never really know, but the way it's panned out, I would guess it's like, there's a little bit of the anti-indigenous thing, and then they can control the export process a little more through like larger co-ops. But
Right.
I'd have to look into it a lot more to
Yeah,
verify that. It's a story you see played out at a lot of origins, right? In one form or another. So
and I'd say that's a very logical conclusion for sure. Um, but I think that that point of that this is, a maybe a smaller lot of a bigger co-op, but it does to me. I think the tasting notes are apt. It's not particularly fruity. It's not particularly anything other than those rounded, nutty, earthy,
exactly, yeah.
brulee marshmallow, like very pleasant. No off notes. I'd say it's
The
no
aftertaste
faults.
especially is really nice. Like it
Yeah,
feels like I just finished like a plate of pancakes or something, like there's
yeah,
very mapley kind of
Yeah.
aftertaste that I
yeah.
like. It's very pleasant.
And it does have that citric acid to it, lemon or orange or something in there as well, a little bit there on the
Yeah, it's very
undertone.
subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, super subtle.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's just this is one that if you don't want to think about it too much, you just want to drink a good quality coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
This is this is the kind of specialty coffee where I wouldn't be like thrilled with every day, but if I have it, I'm like, you know what? This is very enjoyable.
Yeah, and that's why that's the whole single origin thing too. Like, I don't want to have the same thing every day, but like I love that this shows up every so often in the rotation there. Just as having that, it's like junk food almost, right? Like,
Yeah, and I think this is like the best version of that. This is the grown up version that has like maybe a few more whole grains and few more fibers and
Yeah.
maybe a few buzzwords.
It's the cereal without the sugar,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that everyone's selling, that I can't say because they don't sponsor our podcast.
No,
Nobody
certainly
sponsor our
not.
podcast.
Also, probably not one with egg whites in it. So like we can bypass that whole nonsense. Um,
Uh,
but no, this is very enjoyable. And I apologize for diving right in. I didn't let everybody else do their weeks because I was talking so much.
I'm good. I'm good.
oh
No,
my
I'm
gosh.
Um,
I'm happy to be talking about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
this is delightful. And again, Broadsheet, I've had a bunch of their coffees, both at Ugly Duck and otherwise. Just a consistently quality place that I would definitely recommend people check out for sure.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to read was there was an article, I think it was it might have been Daily News, Coffee Daily News, or Perfect Daily Grind that had something about multi roasters,
Mm,
and making sure they choose quality coffee. And this comes from Ugly Duck that rotates things and has had really good things. And I just curious how they end up with some of these, you know. But
I wonder at some point how much they get reached out to.
a ton.
I was gonna
A
say it
ton.
has to be
Yeah.
a
I'm told it's just like samples all the time. And like anytime I have something interesting, I'm wanting to share it with as many people as I can. I take it to Ugly and it's just like goes in a box that is
just
piling over with a million samples. Yeah, that's you have to be super aggressive. I would say that this is one thing I'm slowly learning is you do just have to put things out into the world
yeah.
and account for that in your costs, which aren't going down. So
So
and they're going up.
I will say that when I was there in early January, I was talking to, a couple of people behind the counters like, "Oh yeah, I just had this, one of the shops in our town has it." Like, "Oh, what's the shop?" I'm like, "Oh, good." Like, "Yeah, I've been packing tons of boxes." But like that matter, like that amount of coffee that Ugly Duck is going through
oh yeah.
is noticeable
Oh
by a
yeah,
lot of these small
absolutely.
roasters.
How
And
much
that makes that's a big impact on a roaster like that. That's an impactful thing that
It's
they are
huge.
focusing on them.
how
Absolutely, but
how many bags do you think they sell when they bring in like a broadsheet or
I've seen that
whatever?
shelf go
yeah,
through like 3 or 4 times
they tend
now.
to get weekly. So, I mean, and that's just stuff off the shelf. Like there's all the larger bags too. I don't know what I'm
Sure, we're
privy.
guessing.
I don't know what I'm privy to share,
Sure.
but like at one point, Ugly Duck was Gimme's second largest wholesale account. So like
Oh
that's
wow.
like it is very significant, not just for small roasters, but for someone of Gimme's size too. Which Gimme has gone through a few contractions throughout the year. They're smaller now than they were
Sure.
when Ugly Duck opened, but, like, it's still, like, just to give you an idea, like, even someone as established as Gimme, like, Ugly makes a huge impact, so
That's so
it's
crazy
awesome.
that one little shop can affect so many things.
Yeah,
And
the
all
guy
they do
knew
is coffee, I just wanna reiterate that.
yeah, the guy knew right away what I was talking about. He's like, "Oh, I've been packing boxes all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, that matters." And it's
That's
really
really
cool.
cool. Yeah,
It was really cool that I got to like, say thanks to them and say, "Hey, yeah, we're enjoying your coffee in our town."
that's awesome. Yeah, so, Aaron, what is driving the interest in Mexico? What do we have left time-wise? Couple minutes?
Yeah, I think so. We got about
Okay,
5, yeah,
yeah,
for the first half.
I mean, the interest in Mexico, honestly, I wish I had had more time to dive in. My week took off from me. Um, and so, I was planning to dive in a little bit more to the, agriculture area there and that type of stuff. It was honestly just like I like Mexican coffee.
yeah.
And so
Well,
this
weren't you
popped
just
up.
there?
That
That's
Yep,
more
that
where I was
also.
going.
I mean,
How was the trip?
I was in fake Mexico.
Okay,
So I had the lovely experience of attending an all-inclusive resort.
okay.
And so like we flew in and we're in real Mexico in the airport, which I haven't traveled internationally short of Canada in a long time and forgot what that's like to get off the airplane and walk through all of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Is it better or worse now?
well, it's just like this whole thing about like all these people trying to like they call it the Shark Tank. They're trying to sell you timeshares and get you into these
Ugh.
they'll even like get
Wow.
you into a taxi cab and take you to a building. Not because they want to abduct you or anything, but like they want to isolate you to for sales, you
They
know?
don't not want to abduct you.
If that's what it takes, that's probably what they're gonna do.
So it's just interesting. And then, being, an American in a foreign country, I'm sure at this point is just an experience. And it was, as well there. Um, when we were out in, real Mexico, so to speak. But my brother-in-law, his family is from Mexico City also. And at one point when I was in between jobs or out of work or something, I was like, you know what? I have a friend whose father retired and bought a coffee farm in Honduras. And of course, that's sitting in the back of my head. And I got let go from this job. I was like, you know what? I want to get a coffee farm in Mexico. And I called up my
All right.
brother-in-law's dad and I said,
Like you
hey,
do.
how much money would I need for the federales and the cartels to have a coffee shop? He goes, where? I go, maybe Oaxaca. He goes, oh, way too much. So, um, I don't know. It's just a thing, and it's right there, right? Like we can get to Mexico fairly
Doesn't
easily.
feel that far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't
Did
know.
you enjoy the resort experience though? I've been very reticent to even try because it doesn't seem like my kind of thing. But I kind of wonder, like, do you enjoy that?
So my wife and I like to travel. We've been to the world, in a bunch of different places, before kids and a little bit with the kids now.
Report in here. Aaron has been to the world.
That slipped out of my mouth. I'm like,
Places you've been.
freaking Chris.
World.
Achievement unlocked.
Yeah, been to the world.
Seen world.
Where was I going?
I love world.
So like world.
It's like the only Anchorman joke I could say to my kids. I love
Yeah.
lamp.
But my wife likes to plan what I call trips. So we went to Italy, and we were busy every single day. Like we left the apartment at, morning, and we didn't get back till after, sun had set and it was late and the kids were a mess, right? And so I was like, I want a vacation where I can get drunk on a beach. Like I just want to lie around. I want to let the kids swim. Like I I want to read a book maybe. So we went here and of course we got there and they wanted to sell us a membership to this resort, which,
Of course.
they were like, we'll give you free stuff. So we went and did the little spiel and then it turned it into a trip. And
Mhm.
so I took the son golfing. I don't golf, so that was fun. We did go deep sea fishing.
Okay.
And that was really cool. We had local guides and it was a local company. And they took us out. Then they brought us to this Isla Mujeres. We had lunch there and walked around that little area, which was great. And then, other than that, we were on the resort and it was just room service. And I had every single random resort drink that you can think of. Um, and it was, everybody should do it once just to say it if you can. Like,
Yeah,
know.
I'm very reticent because I very much like my ability
I was
to
just because that doesn't sound like travel the way you describe it.
No.
No, I just love that. I like the flexibility of discovery, but as an outsider, there's something to me that's very enjoyable about that discovery. I get to learn about a place in more detail, and yeah, I might have some lows that I messed up or I didn't quite get right,
Sure.
but then it's on me. Then I have
Sure.
made the choice. I've made the decision to have something, and if I fail, then hey, I didn't do that right. But I do like that control over. I like the control over the situation,
Yeah.
and I also don't want like I don't drink even on vacation. I don't drink every day, but if I want something, I want it to be
Top
on
notch
purpose
stuff.
something I want,
Yeah.
and I want to find, oh, this place does this great, or oh, I went to this brewery and it was mid, but I tried. I tried to find something that was really good. Um, but that's like my joy is that like I find something exceptional through that journey
Sure.
versus it's everything and I don't have to think at all.
Yeah.
Like anytime Carrie's taking a nap, I'm like Google Maps, Google Maps, Google Maps, Google Maps. And it's just all the time, but I'm constantly
What a
searching.
great
For sure.
synergy for your
Oh, you
vacations,
know
where
what?
it's like, while you're sleeping, I'm entertaining myself thinking about all the things I'm gonna make you do when you wake up.
100%. And it's like, but I started doing that when like, hey, that's how she wants to relax and enjoy herself. And hey, her being well rested and not worrying about things
Heck
is
yeah.
great. And I get to be an obsessive nerd and uh
I
and do that.
I did have one thing I needed to point out.
Oh,
So
please.
we were at Moon Palace, Cancun.
Okay.
I was one of the only crappy parts was so we had these passes to one of the other like hotel properties. So you could walk there, it was like a quarter mile. Um, we went over, took the kids to the water park there, and in walking through their hotel complex, there was a coffee place.
Hmm.
And it was closed at the time. And I went back and looked it up, and it was about Mexican coffee. It
Hmm.
wasn't like a hotel coffee shop. It was like a tasting experience.
Hmm.
And I finally like got around to like figuring out when it was open, and I could not make it back there
Ugh.
before. They were only open such a limited time, and it was like this was the thing that really needed to do, and I didn't find it till the last day.
Mm, that
Um,
hurts.
so if you're there, because they talked about bringing in coffees from all over the region and different roasts and everything else. It was really impressive that it was being offered in that vicinity. So
Cool.
Uh, yeah, so does that do it for part 1? Because 'Cause I've been looking up a bunch of stats about
Oh yeah.
Mexico, and I think a really interesting lens on Mexico is the Cup of Excellence,
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
I would love to talk about that in part 2.
Sounds
Uh,
good. Yeah, I think we'll either take a
let's
break
take a
or
break,
have
yeah.
a yeah, we'll take a break and we'll be right back with more Mexico coffee.